Yo! What's up, everybody?
They're here.
We're gonna watch a video by T-Dog Smitty about the real reason Black Ops 7 is gonna fail. Let's find out what he thinks.
For the first time since 2019, COD is on the defensive. Pre-order numbers are lagging behind the competition. Trailers are getting masked.
I don't think we have pre-order numbers yet. I don't think we have any numbers yet. We're just speculating based off of PlayStation Marketplace.
Downvoted, and there's this general feel in the air that COD is in trouble, but not for the reasons you think. Now,
I actually don't think there's a general air of COD being in trouble because, again, the massive portion of the player base that buys Call of Duty is not the ones online making videos or talking about it on Twitter.
they recently announced due to fan backlash that the carry forward skin system will not be returning in this year's COD, which is nice. But there's a deeper issue that they conveniently did not talk about. Not a single word. And that silence is deafening. You see, there's a rot that's been eating away at the heart and soul of Call of Duty for 6 years now. Something that's taken root and has led to a player base that sorta had enough. There's no excitement for BO7 because we already know what the game is gonna be.
There won't be excitement because they didn't show multiplayer. They showed like a snippet. So like, why would you get excited for campaign? I don't know if there's like a real campaign player base. Like they buy Call of Duty only for campaign.
It's gonna be the same sweatfest as the last few years. Same disbanding lobbies and same SBMM dragging us through the mud every time we do well. But to really understand how we got to this point, the absolute low point of hype for a new COD game, we need to rewind the clock, like way back. Let's talk about how this franchise went from being the social FPS of its era to the disconnected, sweaty algorithm that it is now.
I don't get this. Like, what is he getting at?
You remember Medal of Honor? Back in the day, that was the big military shooter. And two guys, Jason West and Vince Zampella, were part of that franchise before they pieced out and formed Infinity Ward. These guys built COD. The first few games, solid. But then they dropped Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and that was the spark that lit up the golden age of COD.
Basically,
the multiplayer setup in COD 4, it was the chef's kiss perfection. When you hit matchmaking, it searched for a lobby with players who had a similar connection, maybe a few similar stats, but nothing too crazy. Just good, clean matchmaking. And once you were in that lobby, you stayed in that lobby. You saw their ranks, their clan tags, their prestige icons. You voted on the next map. You made classes while talking smack on the mic. There was a vibe, there was a community aspect to this game. The matches themselves, perfection. You'd get kills, unlock attachments, maybe earn a UAV or that iconic.
No, the matches were not perfection because there were times where you get into a lobby and it was a fucking nightmare. You're getting spawn camped and you're just you're miserable.
Like helicopter kill streak that sort of peaked in COD 4, you learn how people played. Like, oh, this guy's got a 420 clan tag, that dude's a sniper. This other guy that's using a silenced MP5, well, he's rushing into every building with flashbangs like it's his day job. Now, after that match, you stayed in that same lobby. You talked. You adjusted your class to counter the guy that just wrecked you.
Kinda still do to this day, but not really. Because, like, I definitely will, like load up into a match. And depending on the playlist I choose, sometimes if I choose certain playlists, I see the same people the entire fucking day.
Maybe you voted for a better map. Maybe you tried to convince people to vote for the map that you wanted. And then when the next game started, you were already thinking ahead. You were learning the people, not just the map.
That fucking stakeout.
It felt like a giant couch split screen party with strangers that slowly became rivals, even friends. At the end of a long night, you'd send a couple friend requests and log off.
I didn't, because I unironically don't like people. I got my lobbies where I muted everybody. I don't want to talk to you. I just want to play the game. I am not social.
Wondering what the next play session would bring.
I have friends and I don't need new ones. That's how I looked at it. I didn't want to be your friend. I didn't want to add you. I didn't want to talk to anybody.
This is what made COD a monster. Not just the guns or the maps, the social glue that held it all together. It
What made every game good back then, though? It had nothing to do with Call of Duty specifically.
was a community machine. But then came the fallout. Vince and Jason fired. Whole mess of drama between them and Activision during the Modern Warfare 2 era. The good MW2 era, not the new one. The magic that they created stayed and rounded out.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. That game's overrated as fuck. I love that game, but it's overrated. All the shit people complain about today, broken shit, like being like OP shit. That game was the epitome of OP broken shit. That's what made it fun. Well, let's not pretend it wasn't like cancer at the same time.
Xbox 360 and PS3 generation with some of the best shooters of all time, which is why it's called the golden age of COD. But going into the Xbox One and PS4 generation, things started to change. See, veterans like us, the OGs, we'd gotten good. We knew the flow of a COD match, the angles, the tricks, but there was a new generation of players coming in, and they were trying to learn during the jetpack era. Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, these were already tough enough for us to adapt to. Now imagine being new to FPS games during this era and going up against vets who
relatively played the same throughout all of them.
Got max prestige in COD 4. Of all the jetpack era games, Black Ops 3 actually pulled it off decently. Jetpacks didn't dominate every fight, and there was room to learn and even have grounded gunfights. Despite the growing pains and struggles of the new player base, the series was doing numbers that 99% of other franchises could only dream about. But this was not enough for the suits. Bigger budgets, more pressure, higher expectations. They needed a system to keep players around. And that is where we enter into skill-based matchmaking.
Now, he's being wrong and slightly disingenuous here. They've always had that system in place. They literally have documents saying that it's been around since MW2. They've just continued to, like, crank it up. So, no, skill-based didn't come in with this. It's been there for a very long time. A very long time. This isn't new.
In 2019, Modern Warfare got rebooted. And yeah, the name made it sound like a return to its roots, like COD 4 all over again. But what we got couldn't have been more different. Modern Warfare 2019 introduced the new matchmaking system. At first, it didn't seem like a big deal. No more map voting, that's weird, but whatever. Lobbies now disband after every match. What's going on here? Under the hood...
Not necessarily, because sometimes you would get put back in the same exact lobby. 9 times out of 10, you actually got put back in the same exact lobby.
In the matchmaking algorithm, things were even weirder. You weren't just matched by connection and loose skill anymore. Now, every single thing you did in a match was being tracked.
Again, that's like completely subjective to the playlist, though. Like, if you're just like generically in team deathmatch, you're probably gonna get some random ass people. But if like you go into like a specific pool of fucking people and you're playing like whatever a specialized game mode is, like say you're only playing like one of like the other playlist, like Shipment or some shit, you'll see the same fucking people all goddamn day long. So it's subjective to what you're playing. When I played Search with my buddies, like we'd see the same people all fucking day.
Kills, deaths, kill streaks, where you moved, where you slid, where you died. It was like Big Brother watched you for every single button press on your controller. The first match of 2019 was usually chill. Maybe you dropped 30 kills and felt like a beast. But then the next lobby is tougher, and then tougher again. By match 6 or 7, you're in full demon lobbies getting pre-aimed by slide canceling psychos. And just when you...
No, because you've probably already taken the L pretty heavily before match 6 or 7, so you're back to where you were.
Think you're starting to adapt, the lobby disbands. You don't get a rematch, you don't get to build counter classes or read player patterns. You just get kicked to a new lobby with new enemies, new sweat, and no chance to breathe. It's a meat grind.
And granted, since the introduction of skill-based matchmaking, COD's only sold more and more and more. It's kind of a non-factor. It's, I don't know why it keeps getting brought up. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to change anything. Games have tried not to have skill-based, they don't last. That's the other thing.
Performance treadmill. And this has been COD's SBMM and social system for the last 6 years. Every year, they tighten the screws, make it more precise, more efficient. Every kill streak you earn, the algorithm takes notes. Every time you slide or peek a corner, that system adjusts the difficulty. For new players, yeah, it helps them survive. They stick around longer. Activision loves that. The people who built the COD community, the casuals, the grinders, the folks who just want to play a few matches after.
The casuals and the grinders aren't the ones complaining. The casuals and the grinders don't even fucking notice. They're casual. The grinders are going to be there regardless. They're going to grind camos. Again, they don't notice. It's the people that want to be like the next big thing.
After work without needing a G Fuel sponsorship, we don't really like it anymore. It's exhausting. It's not.
Unfortunately, when you say we, you're not a part of the we. You're part of the online community, the online ones that make, that talk about the game consistently. The casual is not you. You're not the casual. The casual is the guy that doesn't interact with your content, doesn't interact with anybody's content, and doesn't interact with the Twitter discourse. That's the casual. That's the guy that's a part of the millions, like tens, 20 millions of players that still play this game every year and don't give a shit.
Fun. For years, Activision has just straight up ignored us. Every new game, same system. Slight tweaks.
They're going to ignore anybody online making a stink about it because at the end of the day, you're a fraction of the player base.
More data tracking. And what are our options? Battlefield 2042? Destiny 2?
Destiny's not even in the same category.
Nothing else was hitting that special something that makes COD, even at its worst, fun. Eventually, they threw us a
That's why the worst COD's still better than like every other game, which is kind of fucked up.
bone. Here's map voting again. Cool. Thanks for giving us back what you took away, I guess. And please don't do it again. But lobby disbanding
If the lobbies aren't around long enough for you to vote, sometimes the fucking count comes up and like, you don't get a chance to vote.
and SBMM are still there. They're still ruining the flow.
They've been there since 2007, 2008. It's not going away.
And cracks are finally starting to form. Turns out, COD players had a limit, and Activision was going to learn the hard way. MW2 in 2022, massive player drop-off.
But here's the thing. If the game sells millions of copies at launch, this doesn't mean shit to them. They've already made their money. They've already moved on. Literally, these articles and stuff, they don't mean anything. You have to make an impact at launch. You can't make an impact after the fact. You can't give them your money every year, put them in the green, and then go, oh, now I don't want to play.
flopped.
Also, both of these games had no reason for you to continuously play. MW3 had the challenges, like weekly challenges, so you could get on and want to do those things. Vanguard didn't have that. MW2 didn't have that. You'd have like events every now and then, but they didn't have that. Again, if you want, like, they don't care because the game is in the green. It sold millions and millions of copies. So why would they give a shit? And this is nothing burger. Like, this article is a like massive nothing burger, massive, because they've already gotten the green. Even Vanguard hated for the campaign. People hated that campaign. It still sold well. It still put them in the green. They didn't lose money on it. You don't matter. Like, you legitimately don't matter. Once they make their money, that's it.
Fast. Now, Modern Warfare 3 tried to stop the bleeding, but it was a struggle to keep people interested with an insanely
The Steam player counts. The Steam player counts.
aggressive post-launch content rollout, and honestly, people thought the game was a DLC. Then
It was a DLC, not a thought. It was legitimately a DLC.
came Black Ops 6, and on paper, it sounded awesome. The new Omni movement system, sprinting, sliding, diving in any direction.
All these videos are going to change their tune in about a month after COD Next. All of them. And the beta. They're all going to change their tune.
I mean, it sounds cool, but guess what happened? SBMM
He doesn't generally make negative content. This isn't even really a negative video. He's kind of like critiquing, so.
weaponized that too. The algorithm adjusted instantly.
Title's clickbaity, but, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Movement was the meta during this Warzone era, but Black Ops 6 cranked up the dial so high that the demise of the fan base was accelerated. The game got sweatier than it had ever been, and every match felt like a tournament.
I got another take that has nothing to do with SBMM. You want to know why these games are continuing to get sweaty? Have you looked at the prize pools if you can actually make it Why would you not sweat your balls off if like you're younger and whatever? There's money there.
And people burned out.
It's not even sweats. A lot of these dudes are actively fucking cheating. A lot of players are actively cheating because they're not getting caught. You can make a free account, play it through Game Pass again. Doesn't matter.
By January, Black Ops 6 saw one of the largest player drop-offs in COD history.
But how many copies did that game sell? Again, a nothing burger argument.
Even the weakest Treyarch CODs usually coast to the next release, but not this time. People were done. It didn't matter if there wasn't a good COD competitor. Anything was better than forcing ourselves to keep playing a game that hated when we did well. And here we are. Now it's time for Black Ops 7, set 10 years after BO2, and with an art direction and an aesthetic that's pretty similar to BO2 and Black Ops 3. They're trying to channel that BO2 and BO3 nostalgia. Really the last great and amazing games that people would consider from the Call of Duty series.
I hate both those games. I unironically hate both of those games.
But it's not landing, and it's really not even close. Every trailer has been
The trailer was for the campaign with a snippet, a fucking the smallest portion of multiplayer. Again, in less than a month's time, the stupid argument is going to fade because all these same people will be making videos about how the multiplayer looks amazing, like they do every single year. When the game comes out, they're going to tell you how amazing the game is, like they do every single year. Within a month's time, some people will continue to do that, and others will revert back to, well, you know, Black Ops 6 was so good, why didn't they keep that for Black Ops 7? And you'll repeat the COD cycle, as always.
Disliked into the ground. Every post has been ratio. People are over it. Treyarch, Activision.
The online community, the fractional minority of the player base are over it. They're over it every year, and the majority of them still play the game because none of them can stick to their guns and actually speak with their wallets.
They can't seem to spin this one. The player base is angry, not just disappointed. They're
the online community is angry, not the player base.
Furious. Years of being ignored, told we're wrong about feeling burnt out, treated like we don't know what we want. But here's
you don't, though. That's the thing, is the COD player base does not know what they want.
The poetic part. You know who's in charge of Battlefield right now? Vince Zampella. Yeah, the guy who made COD what it was.
Because EA wants to try to make, to do something positive. But I hate to break it to you, this is EA. And anybody not tempering their expectations for an EA title is out of their mind. Legitimately, you're nuts.
And
I don't care who is in charge of that game. It is literally tied to Electronic Arts. Are you high? Was it fun to play? Yes, but you should still temper your expectations. Electronic Arts is in charge of that title. Not saying Activision's better, but the EA track record is really bad.
Battlefield 6, it's looking pretty good. Now
it looks like Battlefield. Battlefield looks like Battlefield, and COD looks like COD.
Open beta had everything that you could remember about early COD. Smooth.
No, Battlefield did not play like COD. It reminded me of COD. This talking point is just trying to sell you on trying to play Battlefield. But I hate to break it to you, anybody that plays Call of Duty, they don't play the same. They literally went through to all the dudes that were trying to play it like Call of Duty and nerfed the shit they were trying to do. The movement, they addressed it because that doesn't feel like Battlefield, so we're addressing that.
Gameplay, chill vibes, loose SPM.
That game is not chill, or what the hell?
People were just contributing in different ways. Whether it was
it actually has SPMM, they even stated it does.
The medic, whether it was a sniper, whether it was an assault. The sandbox was back. So now
COD doesn't have a sandbox.
The guy who helped build COD might be the one who helps end its reign.
It won't, because they're not the same game.
I'm not going to sit here and say COD is dead. And they're still selling a lot.
You're not going to say it, but you're going to title your video why it will fail.
Of copies. But just remember, nothing lasts forever. The start of a decline can eventually end in the death of a franchise.
Unfortunately, the vast majority of COD players aren't going to... This game's not going to die. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to decline. If anything, the decline should have happened after, the true downfall, which was the Modern Warfare entry. But it sold more the next year and the next year and the next year.
Remember when I mentioned Medal of Honor? Well, that series is dead, and Call of Duty killed it.
That's because Medal of Honor tried to become Call of Duty with their last entries. That's why. Also, who was in charge of Medal of Honor? Let you in a little secret. That shit? 100%? Electronic Arts. DICE. The same guys who made Battlefield. This was their way to answer this. This series right here was how they were going to try to answer Call of Duty. And it could not answer it. It couldn't compete. This game tried to be Call of Duty. It was there before, but then when it couldn't compete, it tried to be it. Again, this game, this is the last one, I believe. It was either this one or Warfighter. Was it Warfighter? Was Warfighter the last one? I think Warfighter was the last one. Let me check. I think Warfighter was the last Medal of Honor, right? 2012. Continue. I'm not giving you shit. 2012, right? Warfighter? Yeah, this was the last one. And these two right here tried their damnedest to be Call of Duty. This was their downfall. And this publisher gave them the fucking boot. They've already had their chance to compete with Call of Duty, and they failed. They stuck to Battlefield, which was not Call of Duty. So to bring up Medal of Honor, kind of funny considering same publisher, literally the same publisher in every facet, and it could not compete.
It wasn't instant, but each new COD release chipped away at the foundations of Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor didn't have good multiplayer back in the day. They stuck to their guns and kept doing their fucking, like, World War II shit. That was their thing. When they tried to branch out past that is when they fucking fucked up.
So finally, it collapsed. And to the COD community, you guys have a voice. And Activision, for the first time since 2019, was forced to listen to it. This victory is ours, but we need to keep this up. We can't.
You're never going to get rid of, let me repeat this for you over and over. You are never getting rid of skill-based. It is never going away. They literally have analytics to show that that shit works for player retention for them, for the players they want. They're going to keep players coming back year after year. That shit's never going away. Unfortunately, you're going to have a voice and you're going to scream into a fucking void. That shit's not going away. Look at the games that didn't have skill-based. They're gone. They're done. It's over. It ain't coming back. It is what it is.
Just settle back down, because then COD continues to be complacent. COD is now on the defensive, and we need to
It's not, though. It really isn't.
Keep the criticism going. Them backtracking on the carry forward skins are nice. Them talking about wanting to respect the time period and setting is good, but they said this about Black Ops 6.
They did, and technically they did respect the time setting. You may not, okay, the only one that maybe didn't was American Dad. But technically they did. Technically they did. It's set during Gulf War era, which did in fact have the Ninja Turtles. I know you're not going to like that one, but that was from that time period. Also, Beavis and Butthead is from that time period. They technically did respect the time period.
They talked a lot about respecting the COD experience, and unless they're also willing to talk about how matchmaking, persistent lobbies, and the community experience is a part of that, then this war isn't over. Like the video and share it if you're ready to keep the momentum up for a better Call of Duty. And tell me what changes you want to see pushed to the leadership of COD.
They're not going to change anything. I don't actually care, honestly, about their leadership. I don't care. That was a good video, though. He's not, like, T-Dog's not, like, ever, like, super negative. He's kind of, like, questions it. But, in all honesty, they're not going to make any other changes. They're not. If anything, I think this will probably be the last iteration of this Warzone shit, it's Warzone's gonna die. What they need to do, you wanna know what they really need to do? Drop the free-to-play shit. Just drop it. I'm sorry, that free-to-play shit's gotta go. It's gotta go. Don't react like halfway through this COD's life cycle and then decide that you need to give people the ability to cut off crossplay. It needs to happen immediately. Like off the rip. That needs to already be in the game from the start. Like, what a fraction of the player base. I don't give a shit. If I can't play, I have consoles, bro. If I don't want to play on my computer, I'll just turn my console and turn off crossplay. I don't care. But the crossplay shit needs to be there from the start. Skill based is going nowhere. It never will. That needs to just that argument's got to go. The reason the lobbies don't stay together anymore is because of the skill base, unfortunately. So if the lobbies ever come back, they've probably turned the skill based setting down. But again, skill based has been there since 2007. SBMM, God. Let's see. First introduction. I'm pretty sure it's been there for a long time. 2007, you know, that golden age of Call of Duty. It's been there. They've just continued to like tweak it. So that the one thing about like it really like SBMM becoming a factor with the relaunch of MW, it's not true. Never been true. And that's all I got to say on that. But hey, if you like T-Dog's video, you should like, comment, and subscribe to his video. And for the effort I put into watching his video, that sounds really stupid, but hey, this has been Harold. Appreciate you watching. If you watched, again, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me hear your feedback, and I hope you guys have a great day.